Well, that freaking rocked. I like that intro.
It's a bit much of a bass boost, but I could deal with it.
It was a little bass heavy, but you got to get the head bop in there, right?
Yeah. Not trying to record or nothing. Yeah, it's a good jam, I guess. Give it a chance.
It'll grow.
Yeah. Like Grandmaster Flash did.
We'll be changing it. We'll change it up. that was a stop today. Well, welcome to our new show. Hey, hello. Hey.
I feel like I've been here before.
Yeah, kind of looks the same.
Well, I'm new.
We're happy to have you.
So, yes, welcome, Miss Kristin. Thank you very much for hanging out with us.
Good to be here.
Yeah, we
And for those who don't know me, I'm Michael the First, and the name will change randomly.
As it usually does. And I'm Robby, whatever you want to call me. I don't care. And yeah, we decided needed to get our voices out there because
I got something to say.
Yeah. And maybe you didn't even ask about it, but right. So anyway, I started this channel a couple of years ago.
It's so strange that it's been years.
It's been multiple years, dude. It was beginning of 2021 when I sat down with Jody. So then it took us like 2 years to film our show, and then we've done live streams since then. And we did a few here and there, but it was just, I got like towards the middle of last year when all this stuff's coming out, it's just like, it got too much for me. It really did. It's like and now we're finding out it's even more, and it's just angering, the shit that's going on out there right now. It really is. And so, but to start off with, so I started the show, and I think when I started the channel and I wanted to film the show, I think I was still even naive about it because the show was about misinformation and all that and making fun of the government. But man, we had no idea the level and depth of BS that's just completely out there right now. I mean, it's just beyond our government. Our whole system is just effed right now. It really is. It's
one grift after the other.
Yeah, it's all a joke. It's all a freaking game, a house of cards. So,
and it's hard to find the comedy in it anymore. It's serious when it comes to,
and it explains to me why you have these career politicians. The way I've always felt is political service should be something you do for a short while, not your career. It's like, you serve 2 terms or what have you, then you go back to being a lawyer or a doctor or whatever it is you did before. And then, we get other people that's just, I'm a politician, that's what I do. It's why we're always going to see Forrest Dunbar's name running for some sort of office in this city or state, if he goes big time. But it's like, the guy's got a law degree. Shouldn't he be practicing law somewhere, in court, something like that? No, he's a politician.
It should be you find the best of the brightest. You give them a chance for a few years to make a difference. And then, like you said, they go back.
Yeah.
They go back to their thing.
You don't get promoted from congressperson to senator,
Right? And then the media landscape right now, we are in a very big transition period right now. That's been happening. I mean, since the 70s, basically, when we had 3 channels and, PBS. Like,
your news was on at 6 in the morning and 6 in the evening. And if you didn't catch it or you caught it, you got the world news, the big things that happen in your community, in your state, globally, you got the big things.
After the first commercial break, we got news. And Take a commercial break, we get sports.
Sports, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. At 6, like you said, in the morning, 6 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. That was it.
Well, and honestly, I think that 9/11 was the big contributor to like, oh, we could do news all day long, and we just tell people anything, and they'll watch us, they'll listen because they're scared and they want to keep up. And I think that 9/11 really was the introduction to news all the time.
And the first Iraq War. That was when CNN really
Leaned
it was
in.
It was
Live from Baghdad.
Live from Baghdad when they bombed Baghdad in the first Gulf War.
I think with the first Gulf War, I think the U.S. government handled the media much better than they did in Vietnam. You know, instead of putting war correspondents in there with the platoon, actually, ducking bullets, they released footage and whatnot, and you just saw buildings getting bombed from far away, and not, soldiers being shot on the 6 o'clock news.
Yep.
And so that helped.
Yeah, and you weren't seeing people crawling out of body bags to see if they were still rolling or.
Yeah, exactly. And so now we've transitioned from just having 3 channels to having a bunch of channels to now it's the channels aren't as powerful as they once be, and they're trying to hold on to power, but this is the future right here.
Yeah, you're right.
Independent media, independent people with a camera and a phone. And then I just want to,
like some 20-year-old going to the Luring Center.
The Luring Center.
Yeah.
Great place.
So an example of this is a guy named Portland Andy on YouTube. Portland Andy.
This is a tough dude.
Portland Andy he's a funny dude. He's hilarious. But let me, so right now he's showing all of the different things going on around the country. Like this is Portland. This is Portland up here on the left. You've got San Diego. You've got Minnesota. You've got, and then you can see it's on TikTok. It's on. I think that might be Instagram or that might be Facebook. So like all of these people are live on all of these different platforms, and he's basically got all of them or just a few of them. I mean, there's hundreds of them out there right now. You could go on TikTok right now and find hundreds of feeds like this with people with a camera. So I want to ask, so talk to me a little bit about where do you guys get your information? Where does your information come?
My Facebook feed.
So you're a Facebooker.
Well, I don't, like, most people here, I don't watch TV anymore, so I don't catch, any sort of broadcast news. So if it scrolls across and I'm paying attention, then yeah, I'll see a news snippet about something. If the headline catches me and I look more into it, that's what it is. If it's not interesting to me, so be it. I'm moving on.
Okay, so where do you, I mean, I know you're usually listening to something because I hear your phone going.
Yeah.
You don't. I'm usually listening to something because I have an earpiece in, but you just like to blast your damn speaker out into the world. So is that usually Facebook feeds as well, or where do you get that? Okay. Yeah. Mostly on Facebook. And then Kristin, talk to me about where does your information
I'm a TikTok kid.
I just haven't bought in on TikTok. Rob's trying to convince me to switch over to X and what have you. I'm just tired of learning something new. Next week, some other shiny penny will be out there, and I'll have to learn what that feed is, and I just don't care. I really don't.
TikTok's pretty easy. It's a thumb. It's just
sure. I'm sure it is, but it's another account, another password to forget, and
Oh my God! So your TikTok. Tell me about your TikTok usage. Is it videos? Is it live feeds? Is it a combination of both?
It's a combination of both. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's learned me, so it has a Christian conservative news feed that it gives me, or feed for my FYP.
Right.
It's a For You page. So it gets to you, which is actually kind of scary. But yeah, so it will be a Congress meeting that's live. Somebody's sitting in and has it live streaming, or somebody will, kind of, oh, I read this in the news. Guess what, America, your fraud is happening again. And, so then they'll give sites and things to look into for that. But TikTok's pretty every day. It's what's happening right now. I like that.
Mm-hmm. So it's pretty much up to speed. Now I pretty much use, so I read X. I look at X. I get a little bit of video stuff from X. And then I use YouTube mostly. There is a lot of people that I follow on YouTube. I usually start out the morning on YouTube, and there's different people who have most of them are small creators. They're not large entities. A guy named Matt Morris, he's pretty new. He started his channel here just within the last year, and he's growing really fast. There's another guy named Robert Gouvet. Robert Gouvet is an attorney who,
I know him,
started a YouTube channel, and it grew and grew, and he stopped doing attorney stuff, and that's all he does is his channel. What he does is he takes all of the day's news, especially if it has a legal bend to it, and he really analyzes it. He's gone through all of the January 6th stuff with the cases on that. Anything that has to do with the courts, with because that's where a lot of this stuff is getting, all the Boasberg stuff. I don't know if you know who Jed Boasberg is, the judge that's basically said, turn the plane around, judge, right?
Go back to whatever country and get the people you deported.
Yeah, exactly. So he's gone through all that, and he really gets down into the nitty gritty. Like, he'll go through the court rulings with you. And people like that. And then Tim Pool. Do you guys know who Tim Pool is?
He gets a little much sometimes for me, but I do pay attention to him quite a bit.
I like a lot of his guests. He has a lot of good guests. He's got a couple of, there's one guy that he has on his show sometimes. His name's Ian Crossland, who's a fucking weirdo completely, but he has some really good guests on there. And he's basically started as, he was a journalist. He was pretty left back in the day. In fact, he was you remember the Occupy Wall Street stuff?
Yes.
So Tim Pool was a journalist for Vice, and he did a lot of reporting from Occupy Wall Street. And now he's got his own show every day. He's got a pretty big media.
He's getting swatted once a month. Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting swatted all the time now because he's I wouldn't say he's not a conservative, though. I mean, he's a lot of times he's like a fence sitter, but he's very pro gun. He's very, he's almost like I don't know.
And he's got roots in Chicago, so he's got some left, like understanding or mindset. I wouldn't, dare say tendencies or habits, but he's at least accepting, sees where they're coming from. But he's had some guests, like remember Adam Conover, and just listen to him. Wow, you believe every lie the propaganda has fed you.
Right?
You don't even know
exactly.
they're feeding you propaganda.
No, it's insane. And then now it's just one hit after another with this, especially with the what we're just now beginning to uncover with this fraud stuff. And I hope it doesn't go away, because this is our country. Our country runs on money. I mean, it just does. And we pay a shitload of taxes. We hear about all the price of everything going up, how expensive everything is. Well, if 40% of our budget is fraud, and there's always been jokes about government work and all that and how much we spend for toilets in the military and everything. But this is next level.
Well, I mean, we're not even, we're talking about right now in Minnesota, what's being uncovered, but what about what Doge is uncovered? All of the mishandling, misappropriating of funds that Doge found,
Right.
it goes so far back. And, I don't think that, what's Nick
Shirley.
Yeah.
He's not out here reinventing the wheel. He's just doing what anybody should have done. And
right.
But when Elon Musk was saying like, hey, there's some shenanigans happening behind the scenes and we're finding it here, he was laughed at. He was called autistic. He was, completely harassed by they were lighting Tesla joints on fire. Like, they were so anti, and it, again, it just comes from the wrong person's mouth. But listen to the pushback that Nick Shirley's getting. All of a sudden now he's MAGA, and he's a far right
racist, and he's right, exactly.
And you don't want to see what is happening, and you don't even want to look into it.
Yeah, the message isn't important.
No, exactly. So like we were talking about earlier, this is one of the things that he's found here recently. This is January 6th, yesterday, 13.4 million views already. So let's just watch.
What's the need, for example, for 1,200 transportation companies inside of Minnesota? What's the need for that many transportation?
Did you catch that? 1,000 different transport companies in Minnesota.
100 transportation companies, and for example, for 1,200 transportation companies inside of Minnesota. What's the need for that many transportation?
Well, there isn't. There isn't. You're talking about getting a right. You already have services that are provided. You have Metro Mobility that offers free rides to seniors and low-income people. And so to have that many non-emergency medical transportation companies, it's not possible that they can transport that many people. I have been to many of these transportation companies, and I've been time-stamping my photographs for a whole year at one facility in Minneapolis, and those vans in that parking lot had not moved 1 inch in an entire year. They're all still sitting there.
And so when you think about it, you have...
But they still get paid. They still bill for a service that they're not providing.
Imagine how dry rotted the tires are just sitting there, weight on the one side. You probably just go like kick a hole in them.
Right? I mean, it boggles the mind that it's just over and over and over.
The transportation companies, you have the adult care centers. So are they working hand in hand together to then say, we're getting the services from them, the adult daycare centers, to then transport them to their appointments?
So my feeling is this transportation deal.
Well, it ended abruptly.
So what's the need for...
Well, okay, he was getting undressed, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll cut the feed right there.
I was just watching it, you guys. I forgot we were here.
Yep. Here is, let's see. Up here. Okay, so this was on Glenn Beck today. We won't watch all of this, but there's more Nick Shirley.
David, you found it surprising that they didn't have all this information already.
Yeah, because I mean, it was so obvious, and just like, how come it was my video that surged even 2,000 more? If millions, quite literally billions of dollars is being given to these daycare centers, how come the government doesn't know that the money's being spent here? And so I thought what was great about this is the HHS then went and froze all daycare payments or all childcare payments until these businesses prove they're legit. And so far, no business has been able to send in information saying they're a legit business.
None of them have been able to prove that they're a legit business yet.
Did you see the video of that the daycare owner that came out?
Everybody got robbed.
He's reading off his paper. And it was like watching a second grader try to get through. But yeah, they got robbed.
And he was.
How can you prove anything? They were robbed of all their only their important documents that were all handwritten.
Because they're so valuable that any Johnny Cat burglar would grab those, and only those.
And he was wearing $1,200 glasses.
I think they were more like $3,000 glasses.
Oh, were they?
I want to say they were 1,200. That's an expensive pair, but these were like an outrageous price. And you know, he's obviously not on a Medicaid program, right?
Right.
I've been to the Medicaid section in the optometry. They are unkind. They are not designer.
No,
they're not. No, exactly.
Good value though, practically indestructible.
Amazing. Straight. They've been saved from 1973.
Yeah, and then so the House had a hearing today about this, just the fraud. They brought in some Minnesota legislators, and so let's just take a look at. So
is this where the Texas got after him with all the? We can watch, but Texas was giving somebody a hard time. It was amazing.
This is Jim Jordan going over the feeding our future scam, which is maybe get it right here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Hudson, who is Salim Saeed and Amy Bach?
I recognize those names as defendants in the Feeding Our Future trial.
They ran Feeding Our Future, is that right?
That's correct.
And they've been indicted?
That's correct.
They've been convicted?
That's correct.
And they're in jail waiting sentences, is that right?
As I understand it.
Okay, I want to go back, because earlier with Mr. Gill, you said that they overlooked the fraud. I think it's worse than that. I think they helped it along. I'm going to go to this meeting that took place, or actually I want to go to March 30th, 2021. Is it true back in March of 2021, the Minnesota Department of Education suspended payments to Feeding Our Future, that program? Is that right?
I believe that's correct.
And then
So back in 2021, it was picked up that there is fraud happening, right? They picked it up in their state and said, there's fraud happening.
a month later, they resumed payments.
That's correct.
What caused them to change their mind?
In my opinion, what caused them to change their mind was pushback from their constituency within the Somali community who accused the state agencies of being racist.
But what caused them to stop it in the first place? Was it whistleblowers coming forward? Was it like, this something's not right here? What happened?
Apologize for the misunderstanding. The reason they stopped the funds in the first place is because they had credible allegations that there was fraud taking place.
From whistleblowers and others.
Correct.
And just doing their job, looking, this doesn't make sense. We got all these programs, no one's getting fed, and yet money's going out the door like crazy. So they suspended it. And then they started it back up, right? Was there any threat of a lawsuit from the Somali community and folks affiliated with Feeding Our Future?
Mr. Jordan, there was more than a threat. They actually did.
They did? And what was the alleged claim in that lawsuit?
That they were victims of racial discrimination.
Oh.
How do you even, I mean, it makes no sense. There's fraud. You can tell there's fraud, but yet you can't look at it because that's racist. And we're going to sue you even.
Which is
because it's
crazy.
racist.
Let them sue them. I don't understand. Like, let them sue. Let them waste their money on hiring a lawyer for a bullshit racial claim when there's evidence of actual
Right.
fraud. So I don't understand.
Oh, okay. Well, let's keep going in.
Oh, they played the race card, huh? All this fraud going on, money going out, and they played the race card. Now, when I talk about not just overlooking it, there was a meeting that took place between the Attorney General and
The Attorney General of the state of Minnesota.
affiliates of Feeding Our Future. Is that right?
That is correct.
And what happened at that meeting? Do we know?
Yeah, we do, because we have it on tape. There was an audio recording made at that meeting that was entered into evidence in the Feeding Our Future trial, and it was later revealed through work from Center of the American Experiment, the full recording. And my observations of what took place in that meeting was that Attorney General Keith Ellison was focused on one thing and one thing only, and that was keeping these folks in business. There were no questions that he asked of these folks about how the kids are doing, the operation, how they're getting fed, who's being helped. Instead, the focus was entirely on ensuring that the money continues to flow. And I'll add that he went so far as to say that he was going to fight these people in reference to the state agencies. The state agencies are his client.
Yeah. And when you said money's going,
There you go. The actual Attorney General of the state of Minnesota is on the side of the people that want to sue the state to start the money back up. I mean, how do you win against that? How do you fight that? Anybody got any answer?
Well, I don't think whistleblowing's the answer.
Right? No, because
You can just ignore that.
yeah. So whistleblowing. All right, that came out today too. Let's see what this says.
You have any doubt that Governor Tim Walz knew about this fraud as it was occurring?
He absolutely knew that it was occurring.
Thank you.
We
The
got some
Housing
feedback
Stability
going on.
Services program was estimated to cost about $2.6 million per year, but before it was shut down last October, it was on track to run about $122 million in 2025. In fact, I think they sucked $161 million out of it from the point it started in 2020 until it was finally shut down. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. And Joe Thompson believes that 90% of that was fraud.
Yeah. The Quality Leering Center, as uncovered by Nick Shirley, received almost $10 million in funding. Is that accurate?
I believe it is.
There are more than 80 autism centers in Minnesota under investigation. Is that true?
I believe it is, yes.
It's clear that someone is criminally complicit. You can't just let this amount of money get out of your administration over a period of 7 years without knowing. There was a hearing in the state regarding the fraudulent housing stabilization program, but before that hearing, Governor Walz fired the official who was slated to testify so that they could not testify and expose what was happening under Governor Walz's watch. Has Governor Walz or Attorney General Ellison fired anyone else to your knowledge, Representative?
Not to my knowledge, and that was Eric Rumdahl, and his administration believes that he was not fired, but I say he was fired because it was too convenient.
Great. Representative Hudson, is it true that 90% of the individuals charged, regardless of what your colleague on the panel just said with his facts and figures, 90% of the individuals charged or indicted with the $250 million Feeding Our Future COVID fraud are of Somali descent?
I believe that to be correct.
Are you aware that in
90%.
the 2021 video, Mr. Ellison promised that he would obstruct his own agencies in their investigation of Somali fraud?
I am very much aware of that.
So they even went as far as, and this might have been, so it came out here too that one of the auditors, or so an audit revealed that this person granted $680,000 to an agency. They had no proof that any work was done. Then that employee quit 2 days later and went to work for the same person that they just approved the $680,000 for. What is going on, man? I mean, this is one state. What do you think's happening in California?
I think I hate to do that, but I think it's apples and oranges. I think that when it comes to Minnesota, it's concentration of
Right.
immigrant Somalis specifically. I mean, California, it's its own dumpster fire, you know.
I think California's worse. I think we're going to find out California is worse with this. as far as the fraud goes. It's going to be worse. There's going to be way more billions. There's going to be 80. They're talking numbers of like $80 billion right now. So the second largest Somali is in Ohio. Gotta love my home state. This is the Juba Daycare. Already received the Juba Daycare, whatever you want to call it.
This daycare right here, 155. Excuse me, 155,000. This daycare that you all watched yesterday.
Juba Daycare, there it is, right there.
$5,000.
They've already gotten $155,000 this year, 2026.
This year. Now, they also mentioned amazing
7 days in.
somewhere.
Yeah, it's January 7th. And for a place that's, you can tell, is not even functioning right now. That's in Ohio. So this stuff is going on everywhere. That's the thing, is we don't even have an idea of how much is completely just sent out into the ether, right? We can't even, it's not even fathomable. And
what do you say the education level is for your, run-of-the-mill standard Somali refugee or immigrant, whatever?
Probably not very,
but somehow pretty crafty to pull off $9 billion scams.
No, you think there's some help?
I mean, there has to be.
There has to be.
Yeah.
There have been reporting on the collective IQ of Somali immigrant.
Right.
Not.
So one of the main people that got convicted in the Feeding Our Future thing is a white lady.
Yeah.
Like Amy Bach, I think her name is, or Amy Brock.
And her hands in a couple different things.
Yeah, no, she's all over it. So it's like there is definitely a component behind it. There's people behind it that are,
There has to be. And back to California, they were handing out CDLs, right? And
yes.
There was
not even a written test.
No, they can't read English. They can't speak it. They can't see this, understand.
Didn't New York send one out, no name given?
But what's crazy to me is there's pictures on most of our signage, and you don't know no U-turn even in the middle of the highway. I'm not sure if that was exactly in California, but
right.
So just basic, read a sign.
When I heard that no name given CDL license, this has to be a joke. This has to be, someone's meme. Turns out that was real.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got the clerk, that you're dealing with at the counter at the DMV, but then there was no one else who saw this file or whatever and said, wait a second, you guys got to have a name.
So this is, just watch the news story.
Of cocaine. That's an estimated $7 million. 300 pounds of cocaine.
300 pounds of cocaine.
That's an estimated $7 million worth. A routine traffic stop on I-70 in central Indiana turned into a massive drug bust yesterday afternoon. According to police, a trooper stopped a semi yesterday afternoon near the 41-mile marker in Putnam County. The truck was traveling from Joplin, Missouri.
Now, I'm curious if they're going to actually show the drivers here
Richmond,
in this wonderful news story. So let's see.
Troopers say the driver's behavior raised red flags. A canine gave troopers a positive alert, leading to a search of the truck. That's when hundreds of pounds of cocaine was discovered in the sleeper portion of the semi. Both the driver and the passenger were arrested without incident and taken to the Putnam County Jail. Gurpreet Singh and Jasveer Singh of California are now facing felony charges.
Of California. No.
They're
For
fifth
dealing
generation.
narcotics. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement deportation holds have been placed on each of them.
So yeah, so this is that's them. Both have California issued CDLs. Both had, entered the country illegally, have ICE detainers and removal orders. They had a completely empty truck. The truck was empty, and then they gave this story as, oh, we were supposed to go to this exit somewhere and wait on another truck to come give us a load of stuff. They said we were supposed to meet at this Indian restaurant at this highway exit. There's no Indian restaurant at this certain highway exit where they were supposed to meet up anyway. So yeah, $7 million. But yeah, so that's the cocaine. The problem is there's been multiple fatalities of these guys because they can't read English. They don't know how to drive. They're doing U-turns in the middle of the highway. I mean, it's and hundreds of them have been issued freaking CDLs by the state of California and the state of New York, Michigan. They're all doing it.
It's all over. Yeah.
So it's one thing after another, right? It's just we keep getting hammered by it, right? What do you think the next thing is we're going to find out?
Latter-day Saints shooting.
Well, yeah, that just happened.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is it's every day and we just found
Yeah. No, exactly. And then we talked about, having simple people just go and the best and the brightest, right, are supposed to be the ones that are our leaders and the ones that we put into office to make laws and do the thing that they're supposed to do. Like, but then I had it up and now it's gone. Hang on. Let me find it. So
I don't know about you. I want to see our first woman president. That's all I care about.
Just not the ones they're providing us with.
Yep. How about this one though?
He's an election denier. So an election fraud.
So this is at the same House meeting about fraud in Minnesota. This is Miss Presley.
Lie. Now he claims he did these things in the name.
And we're talking about January 6th. Instead of talking about what the speakers are supposed to be there, this is what we get.
He's just a criminal. So raise your hand if you oppose Trump's pardon of this Minnesota individual.
Ma'am, this grandstanding nonsense
This is not grandstanding.
exactly
This is
what
accountability.
Minnesotans hate about D.C.
This is accountability, and you are hypocrites. So again, I will take your
Thanks
refusal
for demonstrating my opening
Mr.
statement.
Chairman,
Reclaiming
order,
my
decorum.
time.
She's off the
Reclaiming
rails.
my time. I'm not off the rails, please.
You are totally off the
Watch this. This just goes completely nuts.
rails.
Nancy, enough of your tropes. Give me my time back.
Order, Mr. Chairman.
If Republicans were serious about reclaiming
me.
You
Presley, time.
my
constituents. You have no time left.
You
You're
don't get to
overtime.
accuse me of things in this chamber.
Overtime.
You're out of
Order.
time.
Kids.
You're out of time.
There's no time
You're out of
left.
time. We're done here.
You're
We're
not
done.
touch in out of time.
At least
Mr. Chair, she's out of time.
Time's expired.
Out of order and out of
Presley,
time.
Ms. Presley, you've
You all
already
are very
secured your
unserious.
MSNBC spot tonight.
I'm not
Your time's
I'm
required.
looking for
Chair
accountability,
recognizes Ms.
and you
Mays
want to
from
We're
run
gonna be
from
so
the
South
good
Carolina.
on
hypocrisy
MSNBC.
Chair
of your
recognizes
king
Ms. Mays.
and this administration.
Thank you, Mr.
Chair
Chairman.
recognizes Ms.
And
Mays.
Mr. Chairman, I agree. She's
You
going to
don't
be a great
care about
host on
hungry children. You wouldn't be
MSNBC.
cutting
This
their
is
teeth.
my
I
time.
wouldn't want to jump
I
in front of
reclaim
Ms.
my
She's still going. She's
Yeah,
still going.
time.
Mute her mic. I don't
reclaim my time.
understand.
This is my time.
I wouldn't want to interrupt Ms. Mays. It's her time. Chair recognizes Ms.
They did.
Mr. Chair,
There she goes.
she did not get all of her time.
Mr. Chairman,
She wants to
still out of
insult us for
order.
10 more seconds.
What do
Your
we
time
have
has
to do
expired.
to get this
Chair-
woman in order?
Her time has expired. Chair recognizes
You're
Ms.
going to be great
Mace.
on TV.
I mean, what even is that? That's the best and brightest. That's
Did she
we have.
honestly? Did she honestly think she was convincing anyone of her side of things? I mean, I just heard, just squawking, and I didn't really care what she had to say, after a short bit there. Not worth listening
Right.
to if all you're going to do is shout.
No, exactly. Here is Emily Randall from Washington State.
We can trot out all of the data that we want to create the sense that there is a bad guy. There is a bad group of people. There are folks who are not among us. There are folks who are other. And I think we should spend a lot more time looking at ourselves, looking at American citizens, looking at white men who are.
There it is. We got billions of dollars being funneled to people that aren't feeding kids. That one that's been convicted. Now we're finding all of this other fraud, but nope, it's white men. That's who we need to focus on.
Committing violence at disproportionate rates in our country, who are committing crimes at disproportionate.
Where's she getting her stats from?
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Rates in our country, including the President of the United States, who is sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue,
Citation
as so many
needed,
of my
please.
colleagues have pointed out. I also want to say, I've heard a lot about.
Yeah. So it's white men perpetrating large amounts of crime throughout the United States. What?
Can we go back to Joe the plumber testifying about how a woman can, intentionally miscarry if it was a rape or something like that? 10 years ago.
Right? I mean,
it was just as ridiculous, but the topic seemed a lot more peaceful.
yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't.
And if this is a new shiny penny, it is dragging on. We got to find something new for them to, be ridiculous about.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw an article about how the up in arms on the trans community or the men and women's restroom things is finally plateaued, and we're on the back end of that finally. Which
Right.
maybe not, But
Did you see the thing coming out the other day though at another Planet Fitness?
yeah, I did. Well, I saw
Oh,
someone mention it
God.
and said, "I'm not going to show this video, but you can at least see right here what's going on." And Planet Fitness is just bending the knee to. And they allowed new memberships at like age 14 or something.
Oh, did you hear about this or no, Kristin?
I mean, I feel like there's I don't think so. Maybe not. Was he, she, and
So,
pink?
It was a straight up
Inside the
he.
locker room?
Yeah, let me see if I
Inside the
can.
locker room
Let me.
wearing ladies' clothing?
Oh,
No.
yeah, no.
Naked. Are you
Yes.
saying naked?
Oh.
No, I have not seen that.
Yeah, let's see if I can find the interview with.
There was a woman,
Mitch.
she was a black
Oh.
lesbian woman, and she went to the assembly or a meeting, a town hall situation. She was like, I'm offended. Like, I'm a black lesbian. Why is it that this man can be in my dressing room? I've seen his wiener.
Right.
And
Oh,
nobody's
yeah,
doing
no.
anything about it. Like, she's like, I'm a woman. What about my concerns? Like, there
An
was
interview
that. But
with.
other than that,
Oh, this lady goes. All right, here we go. This is a little bit long too, but you can read what it says here. We'll just listen to it.
Instagram. I have no idea why all of a sudden my video is blowing up on Twitter and Instagram. This happened back in May, but I'm getting a lot of questions and stuff, and I'm just gonna answer it.
So this happened like okay, I didn't realize. I thought this was new. But basically, let her tell it here.
I was just at the gym. I go in to use the restroom, and the shower is going because at Planet Fitness there's showers, and the shower is going. Didn't think much of it. I go out to wash my hands, and the shower stops, and this dude comes out. Okay, literally straight up dude, tall, and just masculine, everything. And he's naked and wrapped in a towel, and he goes across into the changing room. And I was kind of just in shock and just didn't really know what to say. Like, I mind my own business, okay? I go to dry my hands, I turn back around, and I see that shadow, and I'm just like...
So the shadow is he was in a stall, like having a good old time with himself, and you can see in the shadow the motion happening.
Yeah.
And so then she gets the staff, and they just stand there like slack-jawed, like they don't know what to do. They can't.
Well, people got to people. You know.
Yeah. So yeah, that basically. So then her boyfriend comes in and like, says, "What the hell is going on here? What are you doing?" And then, yeah.
And now he's banned from Planet Fitness.
I think he probably is. I didn't hear that. She's probably banned. He's probably banned. That one lesbian lady you were talking about, I think she's banned from Planet Fitness, right?
Naturally, yeah. Makes total sense.
And it happened in Fairbanks too, like a couple of years ago, or like 2 years ago. You realize that, right? Like there was a
similar situation.
Similar situation in Fairbanks, and an old lady got banned from Planet Fitness because of her having enough tolerance.
It's such an upside down thing. It's like somebody breaking into your house and you shooting them, and then them taking you to court because you shot them, and nobody realizes that the actual crime is that they broke into your house. Like,
yeah, we can't discuss
right.
that. Yeah, the guy's probably got a lawyer that makes sure you're not allowed to mention that in front of the jury.
Yeah. He shot me. I was in his living room.
We don't want to prejudice him,
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah, for some, I don't know what it is now, but victims are now the perpetrators, and the people who are doing wrongdoings become the victims. I can't wrap my mind around it.
It's actually it's not new. I'm not even sure if it's more prevalent than has been in the past, because they come up, and usually they're one-offs and they're rare, but it has been forever. Say, like, if you win the lottery, they say you obviously don't tell anyone, and then burn your lease or whatever, because people will go throw themselves on your lawn sprinkler just to be able to sue you for it.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. And then, so all right, what do you guys think about the most recent city elections in New York and Seattle? Because the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, sure as hell they've got something going on, because they're organized, they're getting people elected.
It seems so strange to me that there's that many,
idiots.
Well, yeah, I was going to say something like un-American, freedom-hating people, that they're actively and in mass numbers voting for the socialism, voting for, more government. Oh my God. It just is the small government just that obtuse to some people? And I understand. I refer to Seattle as Sodom and Portland Gomorrah. So I see they're just a liberal hell space. So they're getting what they're voting for, but God, none of you see where your city's gone.
Right. It's not like Seattle was in such a wonderful space that, they could afford all this, right? Like it's really not great there right now. I mean,
And hasn't been for a while.
For a while. Yeah, exactly.
It hasn't been long enough for them to notice or should notice what their root problems are. It's, hey, this shit keeps getting worse.
You guys remember that the Chop?
Yeah.
Chop?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was fun to watch.
How does that happen? Yeah. Or the Argentine gang or whatever taking over that apartment complex in Denver, I think it was.
Colorado, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What does your law enforcement do?
But it was only one apartment building. It was only one.
That should still be an easy one for law enforcement to just come in and say, "Hey, you don't belong here. You're doing it wrong."
I can't remember who said it, but they were like, "This is America. It shouldn't be any."
No, I think it was JD Vance on one of the Sunday shows. Yep, exactly. Yeah, so they actually you bring up the Chaz Chop. There's a court trial that's going on right now in Seattle
for the deaths that were happening.
The murder, yeah, exactly. And there's some really bad testimony that's come out of that. Like the city set that thing up with them, right? They had agreements and stuff with these people to take over a part of the city
and run your own government out of it.
Right. And they were supposed to transport people out of the so this was one of the things that came out in the trial
too, around the it was Black Lives Matter, defund the police,
George Floyd, yes,
Soros fundings.
Yep. This is the city of Seattle replacing barricades, makeshift barricades from CHOP. And the city actually put in actual real barricades.
They were more up to code.
Yeah. Like you can see the lifting up the thing. And then they had an agreement to transport if there was any accidents or any injuries or anything inside the area, they had zones that they could transport people to. And what happened is this kid got shot because, the security thought they were white people or something. And basically when they got to the site where the people were, the ambulance was, the ambulance took off. And then the kid actually, he really suffered. They had testimony that he really suffered before, he got to help. So, I mean, yeah. And so now you've got Katie Wilson there. He is a DSA thing. And then have you seen the stuff with them not, the police chief sent out an email saying don't arrest anybody that's doing drugs out in the open?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
but it's no longer a arrestable crime.
Well, the last time I was in Seattle, I forgot what that street, that town part of the town is. They weren't arresting him anyway.
Right.
So just
I guess there's a program that they're supposed to put them in that's like a deference from.
Yeah, I could see an easy argument, or where that policy was born out of. That instead of treating addicts, like criminals, you treat them like they've got a medical condition that's treatable. And that's probably where their heart is. But man, just giving them a free pass, it's like, why don't you just put the drugs in the needles ahead of time for them?
That's yeah. I mean, it's decriminalized and now it's like accepted, right?
I don't know very many. I mean, I don't know any addicts at all, but I can't think of any off the top of my head that are like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to go to that treatment center. That's not what they're going to want to do. And they're not doing it, and they won't do it unless it's forced.
Yeah, we have people in this city that choose to stay outside in minus 10-degree weather because they don't want to, accept treatment and be, in a heated place for the night.
Well, over COVID, when they opened up our only sports arena, the Sullivan, and the only thing that you had to do or be was sober, and people would rather, and it was open to our homeless communities, they would rather panhandle and be out intoxicated on the streets than be at the Sullivan Arena because they did not want to be sober.
No, exactly.
I kind of refer to them when I see them, just milling about. I think of them as like moose. They have nowhere to go, nothing to do when they get there, and all they are is in the way and burden. Seriously. I just cannot come up with any other use for one.
Yeah. And then you've got New York City, like it was, and without, so that was ranked choice. You realize that New York City uses ranked choice voting as well. That shit we're going through here in Alaska. But yeah, so they use ranked choice voting as well. So Mom Dami probably wouldn't have won without the ranked choice voting. I mean, he still had a chance, but I think it would have been a tougher road. But go ahead.
No, I back to that. Like one of the original questions is like, are we so far removed that we're voting for socialism now? Like, and I can't wrap my mind around it, but I follow a lot of people on TikTok that are immigrants from Cuba or
the people that would rather swim through shark-infested waters for more than a day's swim to get to America to flee.
We got to find out what happened to Ilian Gonzalez. Do you guys remember that little kid?
Yeah, I remember all that.
I don't remember if he got to stay here or not.
No, he was no. Janet Reno sent a squad into his to the house to basically body snatch him and put him on a plane back to his parent, where he should have been.
I think they died though on the raft over.
No, his mom died.
Just his mom. Okay.
Yeah. It basically like left him hanging on to the igloo cooler or whatever it is they were holding on to. And but his father was still living his Cuban life in Cuba and really had right of first refusal of what happens with his son. So I agree. He should have gone back to his parent.
Yeah.
Which is what happened in the end, but it was a big to do. And I remember having other problems with his extended family here that was watching after him, and and they were pretty much preventing the government from deporting the child and whatnot. It's like, I think I realize you guys are like legal immigrants and whatnot, but you sign an agreement to obey the laws of this country, and thwarting government actions usually illegal.
Oh, somebody should tell the people in Minnesota that are blocking ICE trucks, and where else are they doing that?
That lady was a mother of 3, and she just had it in her mind today that she was going to stop the government from enforcing laws. mother of three. The lady who got shot used her car as a weapon. Instead of, like protecting or being there for your own 3 children, you're protecting these total strangers who are criminals by definition.
I just can't get around who told them to stop listening to police.
Yeah.
Right.
Who told them that was okay? And that it doesn't come with a consequence, especially when you're trying to run one of them over.
And they actually believe that the people that, ICE and whatnot is getting are just random, Jose the immigrant and not, actual harder criminals that they've got detainers for and, warrants to have them removed.
The federal government is allowed to enforce federal laws. I mean, that's what it comes down to. They're
Across the entire, every state and territory.
Correct. And to the fact that we're now, yeah, you're right. When did we get to this point where not only are you not listening to police, you're actually putting yourself in the way? Like this, unfortunately,
lady had nothing better to do today, so you're gonna see some government actors. I'm gonna run my car right into them.
Well, do you want to know what the hard truth? And it's gross, but the sad fact is that if the police actually had got run over, it would be a different story. There would be cheering in the streets instead of rioting, and that's horrible.
Well, and I think this is what everyone's wanted. Unfortunately, I mean that sounds disgusting, but it is what these people have wanted. They want a martyr. They want someone that has sacrificed themselves now. That's just a horrible story. But now they have another thing that they can rally around and make a big
I know what's really
deal about.
What's comical though is that the left keeps trying to put these martyrs out there, like George Floyd, and we're finding out like he was holding a pregnant woman at knife.
How we're
you know what I'm saying.
How we're told he died from a submission hold and not enough fentanyl in the system to kill a family of 4.
Yeah. They keep trying to put these martyrs out, and it's nothing's sticking.
Oh, right. And you've just got a division, like a complete division of, and such a sad story. This woman did not need to do this. She did not need to.
She did not to be involved.
Right. I mean, yeah, exactly. What you're blocking the road from a bunch of, you're actively blocking a federal law enforcement operation.
I can see it if they're putting people on cattle cars and running them off to camps. I'd see it. That'd be one thing to take up your pitchforks against the government for.
Right.
They're arresting criminals.
Well, and the issue too is it's come out that her wife, she was married to a lady. She was outside the car filming. Wasn't in the passenger seat with her. She was outside the car filming this.
Make sure you get this on camera, honey.
So they purposely put themselves in this situation to try and gin this up. And it completely backfired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and and now so you've got people attacking even the local police are getting attacked after they cleared ICE out of there, and then the local police get attacked for it. So I mean, And it's day after day after day. You see all of these people trying to get, and most people just want to be left alone. Just left alone, go to work and do their job. And
we watched through all of COVID, the riots, setting grocery stores on fire, little mom and pop shops, vehicles, their neighbors' vehicles, their neighborhoods. And then we've just had the anniversary of our Insurrection Day. And those were insurrectionists, and that was a
Those are real tears.
terrorist
AOC was crying.
Wasn't she not even in the building?
No, she was not.
Right.
She was in her office.
It's insane. That's, yeah, I mean, the left loves to loot, riot, just cause chaos. And they don't even know what it's for. They don't even have a concrete
oh God, yeah.
ideology. It's usually just in opposition to whatever the wrong person says.
Did you see the article about the protests after we body snatched Maduro out of Venezuela?
Yeah,
and then
they're
there were
idiots.
protests standing up in New York, Boston, Chicago, what have you. The signs, they were actually mass produced, printed, and they were the same signs.
Okay, so I got a theory about that. I was wondering about that. How did they get those signs so fast? Those were pre-printed.
Because there's already a vigil for the lady that died this morning. There was
Right.
already 4 hours ago. There was a vigil.
Well,
And their
but
bus being
and the
towed.
information age, you can get the info out there. I can mail you this file for you to, print these off. But those were actually like professional print jobs made.
Yeah.
Right, but they knew something was coming. There was already the blockade going on with Venezuela. There was us blowing up, bombing the boats. Those signs were already done, I bet you. And they were just waiting for the actual operation. But to see people in Venezuela saying, cheering in the streets and parties in the streets and them saying, hey, we're finally free. We finally got some freedom,
Well, no,
or at least a
I-
chance
We've
of
been-
freedom.
We've been crying to help. Help finally came.
Well, the vice president that was Maduro's
Yes.
vice president is still in, but I think it gives a glimpse
Right.
of hope. And
Yes.
I don't think that they're in the free and clear, but I think that there's a hope that they have now. And I think it's the same hope that Cuba has as well. That, this is great for us. But yeah, now you've got dumbass liberals that are like, well, you just took a sovereign nation's president. Well, first of all, he wasn't their president.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So no, that's not what happened.
And all we did was serve an extraditable warrant.
You guys know, okay, have you heard the geopolitical part of that, where it was basically a failed state?
Right.
And
Yes.
so
Yep.
preventing from China or I think Iran from coming in.
Make sure you're a little closer to your mic.
Oh,
There you go.
that's me.
It was, yeah, no, I agree. There were so many different levels to what we just did there.
So what's crazy is the day that it happened, when news broke about it, and I think Rachel Maddow was like, okay, well, let's just say that it was, trying to overthrow or he was a bad drug smuggler, whatever. Like, why did you just pardon the president of Honduras? And like, she's throwing out all these theories, and instead and I think that that's what the left does. I think that the left will plant these little seeds, these hypotheses.
Well, they got their buzzword topics that they can just
Yes.
break out.
And then after it kind of makes sense when you listen to the reason for what happened, or why Venezuela was a problem for us that needed to get fixed. But instead, now the liberals are just caught up in it was an overthrowing of a sovereign nation, and it just wasn't. Crazy.
No, and you can't even convince anyone who doesn't see it that way that
No.
they won't hear it, or it doesn't equal what you're saying it equals. And yeah, you're right. You don't see any Venezuelans out there protesting that we did this.
No, you see them arguing with them.
Yeah.
You've seen a few of them show up and say, "Hey, we this is not,
You see a bunch of white people with nothing better to do than to go cry about something
my
they had nothing to
God.
do
A
with.
bunch of white girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you not have jobs?
And listen, if you have a wiener and you're a liberal, you're also a lady. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
I like that."
welcome. If both of your parents are liberals, you have two moms.
Well, unless like one of your moms is Rachel Maddow, then you've got a dad in the family.
That's true. Sweet Rachel.
Goodness.
He is one angry dude.
And then the after the shit today, and the Walls press conference was, I mean, first off, the Jacob Frey, the mayor of Minneapolis, did you see his press conference?
Oh, you guys, he cursed on national TV.
Yes.
And I remember them saying about Trump that was disgraceful.
Right.
But I think he told people to fuck off out of Minnesota, out of Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, and he said bullshit. He said the F word. He did the whole thing. He was like, get the fuck out of here or whatever. And then, basically saying it was a cold-blooded murder. And then Walls gets up there, and that weird statement about we've never been at war with the federal government.
No, they've been giving you
What
a bunch of money.
the-
Why would you?
Yeah, exactly. They just
give you $9 billion. Like, I would keep my mouth shut too.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, there was a couple things that he said today that were just completely freaking nutso. This is it. I think this was one of them here.
And it's clear, look, I don't know, I don't think any governor in history has had to fight a war against the federal government every single day.
Well, I said this yesterday. We've never been at war with our federal government.
Oh, that's the
And it's
second
clear,
time he
look.
said that.
Yeah,
He's actually said that a couple of times. I didn't realize that. Holy shit.
On the right was what he was wearing today. His little
Yeah.
cute
So on the
little tracksuit.
left, he actually said that. And then the thing about the guard too was weird as well. He answered a question. Let me see. Yeah, about a bro, let's see if this is it.
Well, I said this yesterday. We've never been at war with our federal government.
But
I think in this case that the National Guard is their main mission. They have a dual mission. There's the federal mission when they're under Title 10 orders, and then they're under Title 32 orders. In this warning order, there's nothing officially been done yet. If I am to activate them as the Commander-in-Chief of the Minnesota National Guard, I will issue the executive order to the Minnesota National Guard, and then they will be put in state duty status. And as you've seen...
so what I thought was weird was he made it sound, he was talking about them not, don't riot, don't do this or whatever. He was talking about the guard, but he made it so ambiguous to make it sound like he would use the guard against ICE is what I think he was trying to get out there. I think he was trying to insinuate that.
Test the waters on that, see how it goes.
Yeah, I do, honestly. The whole war thing, and then the thing about the rogue federal agent, and then I got to find it because he answered a question that somebody asked about him, what they're going to do about ICE or something, and then he mentioned the guard in that answer. And so it's like, yeah, I've never seen a governor do that before.
Well,
right?
It kind of reminds me of the raid on Mar-a-Lago when they sent armed federal agents, armed with long rifles and whatnot, to serve a search warrant on Mar-a-Lago. And
Right,
it's
yeah.
like you needed the rifles out for this on a building that's actually under Secret Service protection. Did you think you were going to get in a shootout with the Secret Service?
Yeah, right, exactly. So let's see with this one.
We have soldiers in training and prepared to be deployed if necessary. I remind you, a warning order is a heads up for folks. And these National Guard troops are our National Guard troops. They're teachers in your community. They're business owners. They're construction professionals. They are Minnesotans.
He didn't come straight out and say it that he was going to use them against ICE, but he was definitely insinuating that.
The question, other than my primary responsibility as governor, is the protection of the people of Minnesota. And you can be assured, whether it's the State Patrol or whether it's the National Guard, their deployment is there to protect Minnesotans from whatever it is. If it's an act of nature, if it's a global pandemic, or in this case, if it is a rogue federal agent. I don't know at this time, and I want to be very careful.
Oh, good idea to start that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's serious shit right there. That's not a joke. How do you what do you guys make of that? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I think he's going to have a really hard time telling Colonel so-and-so of the Minnesota National Guard to have his troops take up arms against federal agents.
Federal, yeah.
Right?
That just does not sound like something that, Colonel so-and-so would, yes, sir. No.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think.
I mean, I realize the National Guard's supposed to be the governor's muscle, but that doesn't wash.
Right. No, exactly. It's like, and we had recently members of Congress telling the military, though, you don't have to follow illegal orders. You remember that stuff, right?
Yeah. Remember, if a president gives an order and then Congress, who has the ability to either create legislation to stop the president from doing it or defund whatever the president's using to do whatever, then whatever order he's giving is deemed legal if those two things didn't happen.
Right.
So what's the illegal order?
Right. They can never tell you what the illegal order is. They would never say anything about that.
But certainly nothing they've ever contested that the president said.
Right.
Well, and I can't help but go back to COVID and the mandatory vaccination for our military.
Well, I in the military, I had to deal with that, and so for us, it was the anthrax shot. If you were in a certain unit that had to go these certain areas, you had to get the anthrax vaccine, whether you wanted to or not. And I knew one or two that said, "I'm not doing it." They lost rank, but most of us, we just got in line and got it, not because we were afraid we're going to lose rank or whatever. It's because think about day 2 in boot camp when we all just got in line and they shot us up with everything. Yeah. No one ever asked, "Excuse me, what's in that?"
Oh, yeah, no, it was
no,
yeah, that hurt too.
So if you didn't care that day, why are you caring about this today? And I think that's why most of us didn't throw that much of a fit, at least in my command, about the anthrax shot.
Right.
Right. Now I remember one dude that made E3 on the deal.
Oh, they actually busted his rank down because. Oh wow.
Well, it's insubordination.
Yeah, I guess.
You're ordered to report to medical and get this shot. So
Okay, but this one, you're losing your job. Like that you were kicked
Right.
out.
You're
You
getting
were
kicked
DD
completely out. Right. Exactly. You're not just losing rank.
Demoted.
You're gone.
Yeah.
You're gone from the airport or
It was
from the
threatening your
military.
livelihood, and I think that was the stress on it. It was like, wait a second, I've got questions now. Like, not only is this like a crazy brand new situation, but
yeah.
now you're telling me that it's this or my livelihood, and that is weird.
All of COVID was weird to me. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a
But-
mayor, some dude elected to a 3-year term, shafting our rights. That the governor was luckily smart enough to say, "I don't have the power to do that." You know,
Yeah.
Our governor, but other states had other problems. But and then the courts, we tried taking them to court over this or that, and even the courts went against the Constitution. My jaw was on the freaking floor. I was like, "What? You're the one bastion of hope we have, and you're citing, oh, it's a special time."
Yeah, special circumstances to
And then
work around the Constitution.
as you know, time's going on, a couple weeks, a couple months into it, and we're realizing that 90% of the people aren't dying of it. And some of these most of these restrictions are all pointless or moot. And then people get to go rioting in the streets instead of practicing social distancing. Okay, there's horseshit somewhere.
Right? You
I
could.
think
you
it's all
could-
right here.
Well, you could go to a strip club and get a lap dance. You have to wear your mask, but you couldn't go to church.
Yeah,
Churches
right.
were closed. Couldn't go worship, but you could go to the bars.
Mm.
You could
Right.
go to the strip clubs. You know,
And
all
then
of-
they showed us some orchestra playing with their masks on. People actually playing the clarinet through a hole cut in the mask. What the hell's the point?
Yeah, that was performative, dude. That was, I mean, and they even admitted it later on that they just made this stuff up as they went. The social distancing, the whole thing. That didn't stop the transmission of freaking COVID.
Well, sorry, I just wanted to get back to why I brought this up. Was the parallel between, disobeying a direct order
Yes.
and being okay on the left because it's against Donald Trump or whatever he has to say, versus, get the shot or you lose your job. Your family is no longer living on base. You no longer dress up. And I think that some actually went to jail. I think some are in prison for some time.
No, right. Exactly. I think so too.
On
And then
the Democrats 6, I was really surprised at Mark Kelly. He's a retired Navy captain. He's an astronaut. I mean, he's had a career in a field that was you follow orders or people die, bad things happen, that sort of thing. Your
Yeah.
your spacecraft crashes into the planet, and so I was like really shocked that he joined in with them. It was just proof to me that, man, liberalism is a disease.
I can't get too close. It's contagious.
Yeah.
It's spread widespread through college campuses.
Yeah.
oh my gosh, yeah. Well, yeah.
We need to be able to start homeschooling people for college.
I think there are. You could be a phoenix too.
Yeah.
You too could be a phoenix.
No, I have an online degree, but we still had group chat.
Oh yeah, there's that.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, guys, that was a fun start to this whole thing.
Yeah, it was chaos.
Yeah, of course. Good chaos.
Unorganized chaos, of course.
More to follow.
Mm-hmm. So I think it's next Wednesday at least for this, and then we'll see where it goes. Like I said, I've got I can't do Tuesdays for a couple more weeks, but I can after that. So I look forward to more of these because there's a lot of crap we got to get into and a lot of crap going on out there. And who better than
I know, and who
than
knows
just
what in
us?
the next 7 days what will come up to talk about next.
Oh my God. It's like something every single day. Something breaks every single day. And it just
or something has gone completely ridiculous and they're accepting it as normal.
Yeah,
right.
well, we're desensitized.
I know exactly.
We're desensitized.
It just happened. It comes so fast. I mean, we've had like the Maduro raid just happened over the weekend.
Well, I've looked at that and that whole operation lasted less time than it takes for Uber Eats for Uber Eats to drop off your Little Caesars,
After half an hour, it was amazing.
That was one of the most insane operations the most precise, one of the most
I mean, we had to have intel assets on the ground, but to completely thwart their airborne defense system and
they shut out power to the whole city, didn't they?
Yeah.
And
but they also had to have intel saying, no, he's in this building today or right now.
Right.
You can't just go storm the governor's mansion.
And the Chinese and Russian radar that was supposed to pick up stealth and all that stuff, that just got proven to be completely ridiculous. So those guys are scrambling now because the whole world knows, nope, your shit ain't what you thought it was. So
anyway, so full of shit, Putin. Just kidding. I actually respect the shit out of him.
He's that guy's a survivor, I guess. I mean,
I just respect that he's Russia. He's Russia first. And I can only respect that because I'm America first. If I was Russian, I'd probably be Russian first too.
Right? Yeah. Well, all right, guys, we're out.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, bye.
We'll see you next week, or next time we see you, we'll see you. All right.
Yeah, bring it on.
We'll be there.
Good night.